20 years I spent building an empire, and 3 words shattered it all. Dad, I'm pregnant. No boyfriend. No party. No explanation. Just fear in her eyes, confusion in her voice, and a storm I could feel rising inside my own blood. I thought I'd been protecting her from the world. I never imagined the danger was already in our family, in me. I'm a billionaire. A father. A man who buried too many secrets under glass towers and wealth. But now, the walls are cracking. And as truth after truth comes to light, I'm learning something I never wanted to know. The real curse isn't money. It isn't power. It's blood. The pen slipped from my fingers. Hello friends and family, welcome to my channel. But before we dive deeper into today's story, I have a small but heartfelt request. Please subscribe now. Your support is what keeps this channel and these stories alive. Every time you click that subscribe button, you're helping us share voices that might never be heard. And stories that deserve to be remembered. In the comments, tell us where you're watching from. We love hearing from every corner of the world. Because together, we're not just telling stories, we're keeping hope alive. Now, back to the story. 20 years of building a business, real estate, tech, investments, and my daughter's 3 words shattered it all. Dad, I'm pregnant. Rain pounded against the windows. Lightning lit up the city, turning the streets into rivers of silver light. Lily stood in the doorway, my only child, my pride, shivering like she did when she was 6, scared of thunder. But this was more than fear. This isn't possible, I said before thinking. She shook her head, mascara running down her cheeks, her dress wrinkled. I don't know. I don't remember being with anyone. There's no boyfriend, no party, nothing. And now I'm pregnant. I felt the air grow heavy. What do you mean you don't remember? I asked, my voice tight. She swallowed, voice breaking. I don't know. It's like, it happened, but I can't remember. I just woke up one day, and I crossed the room and pulled her into my arms. Over her shoulder, our family photo mocked me, just the 2 of us and her mother, before she passed, before life got complicated. We'll figure this out, I said, trying to mean it. But deep down, a cold dread wrapped around my chest. Because in this city, secrets don't stay quiet. By morning, the news was everywhere. #billionaire daughter, #pregnancy mystery, #no father named. I had locked every gate, sent the new staff home, and called Dr. Harris for private tests. But it didn't matter. Someone had already leaked everything. The blogs exploded. Billionaire's daughter pregnant, father unknown. Family in crisis as scandal breaks. Sources claim secret lover. Lily hadn't left her room. I found her curled up on the bed, the phone glowing on her face. They're calling me a liar, a whore, she whispered. I wanted to tell her I could fix it. That money could buy silence. But money can't control the internet. Then my phone buzzed. Unknown number. You shouldn't have called the doctor. Some secrets should stay buried. I showed her. Her face went pale. Who would send this? She asked. Before I could answer, another message arrived. The truth will destroy more than your reputation. I forwarded everything to Mark, my assistant. Trace this. Now. Even as I gave the order, I felt control slipping away. That night, alone in my office, a final message came. She doesn't remember because she wasn't supposed to. But blood doesn't lie. I stared at the words until my eyes blurred. Someone knew what happened to my daughter. And they were watching us. Sleep didn't come that night. I sat in my office with the lights off, watching shadows creep across the walls. Upstairs, Lily's phone buzzed twice. Then silence. I climbed the stairs slowly, each step heavy with dread. Her door was slightly open. Light from her phone spilled across the floor. She was typing fast, tears running down her cheeks. Lily. She jumped, trying to hide the phone. Who are you texting? I asked. No one, she whispered. Don't lie to me. Not now. She hesitated, then handed it over. The chat was open. No name. Just a number. Unknown, don't tell anyone what happened. They'll never forgive you. Unknown, you promised to keep our secret. My throat tightened. What secret? I don't know anymore, she sobbed. The messages started 2 weeks ago. I thought maybe I forgot, maybe I did something wrong. I scrolled up. Weeks of messages. All the same tone, threatening, possessive, intimate. Has this person asked for money? She shook her head. Then what do they want? Silence, she whispered. I pulled her close. No more phone. No more internet. Not until we figure this out. When I left, I locked her door from the outside. For her safety, I told myself. But deep down, I knew, I was locking truth in as much as I was locking danger out. Downstairs, I called Mark. Trace that number. I don't care what it costs. An hour later, he called back. Sir, The number belongs to a device registered under the name Oliver Drake. The name hit me like a punch. Oliver. My late wife's cousin. The man who had visited after her funeral, offering comfort. Family. Find him, I said. Now. Oliver's house sat behind a tall cream wall in a quiet, wealthy neighborhood. Expensive, clean, but empty of life. I arrived at dawn. No security. No witnesses. Some confrontations need to happen alone. He opened the door in a silk robe, a half-empty coffee cup in hand. His smile died when he saw me. James. Didn't expect. I know what you did, I said, cutting him off. He stepped aside, gesturing me in as if we were having tea. The living room was all white leather and glass, cold and soulless. Which part? He asked lightly. That Lily isn't really yours? Or that what happened was always going to happen? I grabbed his collar, spilling coffee across the floor. You touched her. Your own family. I couldn't finish. He didn't struggle. Just smiled that cruel, calm smile. Family is complicated, isn't it? He leaned close. Your wife knew. She always knew. Check her diary if you don't believe me. Don't lie, I growled. Am I? He shrugged. I didn't force anything. She came to me after her mother died. Lonely. Looking for comfort. I gave her what you never could, attention. White-hot anger burned inside me. She was grieving. She was vulnerable. She was legal. And willing, he said. Not my fault you were too busy building an empire to notice. I swung my fist. He crashed through the glass coffee table. Blood on white leather. He laughed through split lips. There it is. The real James. Not the billionaire. Just another man who can't handle the truth. I pulled out my phone and called Detective Harris. I need an arrest. Oliver Drake. Sexual assault. I'm sending evidence now. His smirk finally faltered. You're serious. You said truth is expensive, I said as I walked out. Let's see what yours costs. Sirens screamed in the distance. Some prices, even for monsters, must be paid. I found it exactly where I had hidden it, behind her clothes in our bedroom closet, wrapped in her favorite scarf. My late wife's diary. I hadn't opened it since she died. Dust covered the edges. My hands shook as I turned the first page. At first, it was ordinary life, notes about dinners, birthdays, plans for Lily's graduation. Then the tone changed. April 17th, I can't live two lives anymore. He deserves the truth, but telling him will destroy everything. My chest tightened. May 2nd, Oliver said he'll handle it. He promised no one will ever know whose child Lily really is. The words blurred before my eyes. I closed the book and sat on the edge of the bed we shared, feeling everything I had built crumble. A soft knock. Dad? Lily stood in the doorway, pale and hesitant. I heard you leave last night. Where did you go? To get answers, I said. Did you find them? I looked at her, my daughter, my pride, the girl I had raised for 23 years. Lily, the man Oliver, he's not who you think he is. What do you mean? He hurt you. And he's been lying about everything. Slowly, understanding dawned. So it was him. I kept thinking it was my fault. You did nothing wrong, I said firmly. He took advantage when you were vulnerable. She covered her face and cried, shaking. I held her while she sobbed. Each tear was a reminder of my failure to protect her. What happens now? She finally asked. I looked at the diary on the bed. Now, we find out the whole truth. Because buried in those pages wasn't just her secret. It was mine. Dr. Harris came back with 2 envelopes. We sat at the kitchen table, me, Lily, and the truth waiting to be opened. I ran the tests twice, he said carefully. Different labs. Both came back the same. My heart pounded. Just tell me. He opened the first envelope, the DNA test results. His finger traced the conclusion. No paternal match. The room spun. That's impossible, I whispered. I was there when she was born. I know, he said gently. But the DNA doesn't lie. You're not her biological father. I sank into the chair. Everything I thought I knew about my life and my family was suddenly wrong. Then, who? He slid the second envelope toward me. We found a familial match. Someone genetically related to her. I read the name. Oliver Drake. My blood ran cold. Oliver is her father? Dr. Harris nodded slowly. Memories flashed, Oliver holding baby Lily, my late wife's face when she looked at him, something I dismissed as grief. 23 years of fatherhood. Built on a lie. I need to be alone, I whispered. After he left, I sat in the kitchen for hours, staring at numbers that rewrote my life. When Lily finally came down, she looked at me and understood. The test results came back, she said softly. I nodded. Does it change anything? She asked. Everything, I admitted. Nothing I believed is the same anymore. "You're still my dad," she said firmly. "Blood doesn't change that." I looked at her, this daughter, this stranger, this truth, and wondered if love could survive a lie this big. Oliver's final words haunted me. "There's another diary. One she left for me." I drove to the house I had bought for my late wife before success made us strangers. It stood empty, dust covering every surface, silent for a decade. In the sitting room, I found the old piano untouched. Underneath, hidden in a loose panel, was a small brown notebook tied with faded ribbon. I opened it with trembling hands. "If you're reading this, James," I couldn't say what needed to be said while I had breath. Her handwriting. Her voice, speaking from beyond the grave. "Oliver was a mistake. But Lily was not. She is yours in every way that matters, your strength, your stubbornness, your capacity to love despite the walls you build." I turned page after page. Each one a confession. "You gave me everything except time. Except presence. I found comfort where I could, in family, in someone who reminded me of the man you used to be." Further on, her handwriting wavered. Cancer had stolen her steadiness. "There's something else you need to know. About your father. About Oliver. About blood that carries curses through generations." My breath caught. "Your father had another family. Another child he never claimed. Oliver is your half-brother." The room spun. "I'm sorry you had to learn this way. Secrets don't protect, they poison. Everything I hid has grown teeth in the darkness." The final entry, dated 3 days before she died. "James, forgive me for the daughter I gave you. Forgive me for leaving truths for you to uncover alone. But most of all, forgive yourself for the mistakes you'll make trying to fix mine." I closed the diary, stepped into the overgrown yard, and screamed until my throat burned. My daughter had been violated by my own blood. Family had become a curse. And I had been blind. For months later, I sat in a Lagos courtroom, watching my half-brother stand trial. Lily was beside me, spine straight, eyes focused. She had agreed to testify, despite the cameras, the gossip, and the shame. Silence had protected him long enough. The evidence was overwhelming: diary entries, text messages, DNA results, Dr. Harris's testimony. But Oliver's lawyer tried the usual tactics, questioning Lily's character, suggesting she had invited this, painting her as someone using pregnancy to gain money. I watched my daughter sit through it all, absorbing each accusation like bullets. When it was her turn, she stood slowly, her voice calm but firm. "I was 19 when my mother died," she said. "Oliver was family. I trusted him. When he offered comfort, I didn't understand what he really wanted." She looked directly at him. "You knew I was vulnerable. You knew I was grieving. And you used it." For the first time, Oliver's mask cracked. I saw something flicker, shame, maybe, or the realization that he had finally been caught. The judge delivered the verdict quickly. 25 years imprisonment. No parole. Gasps ran through the courtroom. Lily's hand found mine. She squeezed it tightly. "It's over," she whispered. "Almost," I said. "Healing takes longer than justice." 6 months later, we opened the Lily Drake Foundation for survivors of family trauma. She insisted her name be front and center. If I'm going to carry this story, I might as well help someone else. The office was modest, 3 rooms in the city, not the glass tower I had suggested. She wanted it approachable, not intimidating. "People hurt by family don't trust wealth," she explained. "They need to see real people, not a billionaire charity." In the first month, we helped 17 survivors, mostly women, some men, all carrying secrets that had poisoned their lives. Lily met each one personally. She listened. She connected them with therapists, lawyers, and safe housing. One evening, I found her in the office after hours, reading a file, tears running down her face. "What is it?" I asked. "A 15-year-old girl. Her uncle abused her. Her family doesn't believe her because he has money. They want her to stay quiet." She closed the file gently. "We're getting her out. New housing. Legal support. Police report. I'm meeting her tomorrow." I looked at this woman my daughter had become, not a socialite, not a girl I once thought I knew, but someone stronger. "Your mother would be proud," I said. She smiled, sad, tired, real. Her diary said pain either breaks you or makes you someone who can hold others' pain without breaking. "I'm trying to be the second thing." "You already are," I said. 2 years later, I stood at the back of another courtroom, not as a defendant, not as a witness, but as an observer. Lily was testifying in a case her foundation had taken on, another young woman abused by a family member. When the defense lawyer tried to discredit the victim, Lily spoke calmly, with authority. "Counsel," she said, "I'm familiar with those arguments. They were used against me. They didn't work then. They won't work now." The judge allowed it. Even the lawyer looked shaken. Verdict: guilty. 20 years. Outside, the young woman collapsed into Lily's arms, sobbing thanks. Later, in the car, I asked Lily what she had whispered to her. I told her what you told me 2 years ago: you're not defined by what happened. You're defined by what you do next. She looked tired, but at peace. What's next for you? I asked. Honestly? I don't know. More of this work, probably. Maybe a book. Maybe just live without trauma defining every day. She smiled. But whatever it is, I'm choosing it. That's what matters. We drove home through evening traffic. The city softened at dusk, golden light smoothing harsh edges. At home, I went to my office, the same place where it all began, where Lily had said those 3 words that changed everything. I pulled out both diaries, her mother's confessions, her truths, our lies. For months, I had hated them. Proof of betrayal, proof my life was built on sand. Now I saw them differently. Not betrayal. Testimony. Proof that even flawed people love deeply. That mistakes don't erase worth. That truth, however painful, is better than comfortable lies. I placed them in a drawer. Not hidden. Just put away. Some stories must end before new ones begin. My phone buzzed. Lily. Cooking dinner. Don't be late. Bring dessert. I smiled. Ordinary words. Ordinary evening. After years of scandal and trauma, ordinary felt like victory. Because survival isn't dramatic moments or courtroom verdicts. It's Tuesday dinners, grocery lists, and the simple act of continuing. Outside, rain began again, soft, cleansing, promising. I drove toward home, toward my daughter, toward whatever came next. The empire I built still stood, but it didn't matter anymore. What mattered was sitting at a dinner table, eating food she cooked, listening to her talk about cases, dreams, and the life she was building from the ruins of the past. That was the real legacy. Not wealth. Not power. Not redemption. Just love. Complicated. Imperfect. Chosen. And somehow, enough.